Oh, we still got quite a ways to go before we get to the ranch house, ma'am.
I have never seen anything as beautiful as all this in my whole life.
Yeah, the Ponderosa's really something, all right.
All this is a Ponderosa?
It sure is. Biggest spread this side the Sacramento Valley. Folks around here claim it could be biggest west of St. Louis.
And it all belongs to Ben Cartwright.
It sure does. Ben and the boys raise more cows and sell more timber than anyone else in the territory.
You know, I've heard so much about that beautiful house he built up here in the mountains. I can't wait to see it.
This is it, ma'am.
You can unload my luggage here, please, and very carefully. Thank you.
I expect when you get ready to leave here, Ben Cartwright will tend to it himself. No more need for me.
Oh, I'm sure I'm in good hands now.
Yes, sir.
And I thank you.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very kindly. Hey, excuse me.
I don't care.
Oh, fine horse, isn't it?
Oh, yes'm. He's purebred stock. We imported him all the way from Kentucky.
Kentucky? Well, that is a long way, isn't it? You must be the one they call Horse.
Oh, no, ma'am. Not horse. Not H-O-R-S-E. Just plain hoss. H-O-S-S.
Well, Hoss, when you're finished here, would you please take my luggage inside?
Ma'am, are you sure you got the right place?
Oh, this is the Ponderosa, isn't it?
Yes'm.
Well, then I've come to the right place. Oh, you know, I would have known you anywhere. You're exactly as Ben described you.
Ben, ma'am?
Yes, Ben. I'm Mrs. Cartwright. I'm Mrs. Ben Cartwright.
Tell me the Pa would get married and send the bride back here by herself. Now, there's something wrong. And what did you have to put her up here for?
Adam, now, what the heck do you expect me to do? Tired of the hitching rail out there and leave her?
Well, you could have come after me.
How am I going to do that? You and Joe were both up in the flats tallying.
Come on, Adam, settle down. You know there's nothing else he could do. Besides, what's the harm? When Pa comes back, he'd clear the whole thing up one way or the other.
Dad burn it, Joe, don't this beat off?
Hey, come on. What's she like?
Oh, wait till you see her. She is really something.
Hey, sounds like quite a woman, Adam.
Not interested in what she looks like. I'm interested in finding out what this is all about.
Oh, you think it's so impossible that our Pa could get married?
I think it's impossible that he'd do it this way, yes. And if either one of you had any sense, you'd see it that way.
What's the matter?
Gentlemen, may I join you?
I'm Joe Cartwright.
Well, how do you do, Joe?
Ma'am, this is our older brother, Adam.
Adam.
How do you do?
Your father told me you'd be surprised, but I hope that isn't disappointment I see on your face.
Ma'am, it takes our brother Adam a little longer to get used to things.
Have you, known my father long, Miss?
Not Miss, Adam, Mrs. Jennifer Cartwright. And no, I only knew your father a few days, but, well, it seemed like a long time. It seemed like I'd known your father all my life.
Well, now, isn't it a little unusual to marry a man you've only known for a few days?
It's unusual, but not impossible. Not for us.
Ain't that romantic, Joe?
If, you'll excuse me for saying so, ma'am. Looking at you, I can see how that might happen.
Well, thank you, little Joe. You know, I appreciate your saying that, even though Ben did tell me you were the flatterer of the group.
Miss, I'd like to know where my father is and why he didn't come back with you.
He still had some more cattle to buy, and after all, a trip like that's no place for a honeymoon.
That's just like Paul.
But he didn't start out to buy stock.
No, and he didn't start out to get married either, but he did. Oh, look, I know this has been a big surprise to you, but when your father gets home, he'll explain it all.
That's right, Adam. Hey, look, why don't we have a drink, celebrate?
I'll get it.
Okay.
Thank you. Here's to the Cartwrights. To Hoss, little Joe, Adam, Ben, and Jennifer.
I just don't understand it. Now, he had no intention of getting married. And even if he did, he wouldn't do it this way. He wouldn't do it without telling us.
She's gonna hear every word you're saying.
I don't care what she hears.
Oh, come on, Adam, calm down, will you? Look, she hasn't done anything to you. Besides, this isn't even any of our affair.
Well, it's Pa's affair, and that makes it mine, and it should make it yours.
Yeah, well, from what I see, I think marrying her'd be a good idea. He could have done a lot worse. Hey, anyway, we're gonna find out now.
Hey, Paul. Yeah, boys. Welcome home. Thank you.
Have a nice trip?
Just fine, Hoss. Just fine.
You, buy any new breeding stock this trip, Pa?
Breeding stock? I went to Carson to see the railway people about selling some timber for that new line they're planning up north. You know that.
Paul, you didn't meet nobody new or nothing?
Oh, let's stop beating around the bush. Did you get married?
Did I what?
There's a woman inside who claims she's Mrs. Ben Cartwright.
Well, says I married her?
Yes.
It's a real good-looking woman, Pa.
Oh, she is, huh? Well, let's have a look at this good looker. Oh, you join me, boys? All right. Where is this good-looking woman?
Oh, she's upstairs, Pa.
Oh, is she? Well, I guess you'd better have her come down, eh?
Paul, I think she's asleep. She's kind of tired.
I don't give a hoot. Just have her come down right this minute.
Mrs. Ben Cartwright, this is Mr. Ben Cartwright.
All right, now, come on now, boys. Who is this lady?
Is this some kind of a joke? Who is this?
Well, ma'am, that's just what I was asking.
Why are you doing this to me? Are you trying to confuse me? Is that it, Hoss? Are you hoping I'll say this is my Ben?
No, ma'am. We wouldn't do nothing like that. This is our Paul, ma'am. This is Ben Cartwright.
Little Joe. But this isn't the man I married. This isn't my Ben. I don't know who this man is.
Ma'am, maybe you'd better tell me about this other Ben Cartwright.
I met him in Crater Plain, and we were married there. He told me all about his sons, and he told me all about the Ponderosa. And when I got here, it was exactly the way he said it would be.
Ma'am, I'm afraid you've been taken in.
Taken in. I loaned him $4,000. It was a legacy my parents left me. He He said he was buying cattle for the Ponderosa.
Oh, ma'am, what does he look like? Did he give you anything? Anything by which he could be identified?
No, I have nothing. I have nothing except a marriage license. Jennifer Lane, too. Ben Cartwright. Well, I guess it really isn't much good, is it?
Please.
I'm sorry.
Poor little gal. Sure do feel sorry for her.
Somebody really took of her $4,000. A lot of money.
Said she got married in Crater Plain. Whereabouts that?
It's that little mining town across the line in Utah territory, isn't it?
Yeah. Man running around the country, using my name, swindling women.
Well, it'd be a good idea if we went over to this Crater Plain and had a look around.
Well, I don't know about we, but I'm certainly going to.
Well, what about Ms. That little gal?
Yeah. She's the only one who could really identify the man. I suppose I'll have to take her with me.
Oh, come on, Pa. That's a 4-day ride. Can't make that trip alone with a woman.
Hey, no, Paul, that wouldn't look right at all. Maybe Joe ought to go along with us.
Us? Who said anything about you going?
Well, now, Crater Plain is a tough mining camp, and it's a long ride. I think it'd be better if we all went along.
Now, just a minute now. Until you boys came into my life, I was perfectly able to take care of everything. I guess you're right, though. Look, let's have a good night's sleep, and we'll tell the lady what we've decided to do in the morning. Better make up a bed in the bunkhouse.
Well, I'm all ready, Mr. Cartwright, but, well, I do feel awfully guilty about getting you all involved like this.
Oh, nonsense. We've already talked that out, and it's really a case of helping each other.
Thank you very much.
There it is, Miss Johnson. Limits of the Ponderosa. Might near as big as the whole state of Rhode Island, ain't it, Paul?
Yeah, just about, I guess.
It must be wonderful to live on a place like the Ponderosa. A place almost as big as an entire state.
Well, Miss Jennifer, it's not what a man has that's important. It's how he got it and what he does with it. That really counts.
But how does one man get so much?
By working till his back's near broke like our Pa did.
Other people work hard.
Yeah, but maybe other folks don't dream like our Pa did, Miss Jennifer.
Fight to keep it.
Heidi, stranger, Heidi. Light and set a spell.
Thank you. Thought we could water up a horse.
Why, sure, water's cheap, and I got lots of it.
Thank
Been
you.
traveling quite a piece?
Yeah, from up near Tahoe, near the Nevada-California line. Water up, boys.
You don't say. I never been over there.
No?
Heading for Crater Plain. I reckon, eh?
Yeah.
Lots of folks are nowadays. It's quite a little town. But mind you, watch your pocketbook. The gamblers are cleaning up more pay dirt than the miners.
Well, thank you for the warning. Hey, is it much farther to Crater Plains?
About 8 miles as the crow flies.
Thank you.
Trouble is, you ain't riding crows. I say you ain't riding crows.
I guess we aren't. Oh, is the trail marked?
Good and plain. You won't have no trouble.
Well, thank you very much for the water, for your kindness. And I'll remember what you said about the gamblers.
You do that now.
Thanks again for the water.
Well, what are you doing around here?
Dogies, I don't hardly recognize you without a card table between us. I ain't got any gold dust to lose, but I got a bottle in the shack. Might loosen up your tongue. Reckon? Come on in.
Joe, take Miss Jennifer to the hotel, see that she gets a good room.
What am I going to do, Paul?
Well, as we make arrangements for the horses, we'll go see the sheriff.
Afternoon, Ed.
What do you want in here? You shouldn't come in here.
What's the matter, Ed? Every citizen has the right to bandy a word or two with the town clerk.
I've done all I can for you. Leave me alone.
I find now I can use your services.
No. The last time was enough. No more. You leave me alone.
Town clerk's here to serve the people. All the people.
What do I have to do?
You remember Ned Birch?
Yeah.
They're bringing his body into town. I think you ought to let his friends know.
Hello? Anybody here? Howdy.
What's all the ruckus?
We were looking for you, Sheriff.
Don't think I've seen you around Crater Plain before.
Oh, we just rode into town.
People come looking for the sheriff. Ain't so plentiful around here. What's your name?
Well, I'm Ben Cartwright. This is my son, Hoss Cartwright.
Howdy.
Cartwright.
Sheriff?
I'll talk to you later. Get rid of the body. Ben Cartwright, huh?
Yeah, Ben Cartwright. And that's why I'm here, Sheriff.
That's why you're going to stay here. Ben Cartwright, I'm arresting you for murder.
Murder? What are you talking about?
They just found that on the body of that dead miner out there you shot in the back.
Well, Sheriff, this is why I wanted to talk to you. See, there's another Ben Cartwright.
Pa ain't the man you're after, Sheriff.
You look like a nice boy. Why confuse things? You stay out of it, huh? I'm looking for a Ben Cartwright. You say you're Ben Cartwright. That'll do for a start.
Now, just 1 minute, Sheriff. I came here to clear my name. Yes, I'm Ben Cartwright of the Ponderosa, Nevada Territory, but some crook is running around these parts using the name of Ben Cartwright.
Now, you wait just a minute. I'll hear your story in there.
Oh, let's go get Jennifer. She'll clear this thing up.
Just a minute.
She's the one that was swindled by that crook. mighty fine. That's a little rich for you, ain't it, Ab?
Well, I just come into some money. I expect that's my business.
Oh, makes no never mind around here. Some days you got it, some days you ain't. No need to fret about it. You, closed the town up mighty early today, didn't you, Ab?
Yeah. Today ain't no ordinary day. Today's something special.
Wasn't just ordinary day for me. What's so special about it?
They found Ned Birch up at his shack. Dead. They just brought him in.
Ned Birch dead? Why, he was in here just a couple days ago.
Well, he won't be back in again. He was murdered. Shot right in the back.
Oh, Hoss, is anything the matter?
Oh, yes, ma'am. They got our Paul locked up down here in jail.
In jail? Well, what on earth did he do?
All I know is we walked in there, and Paul introduced himself to the sheriff as Ben Cartwright, and the sheriff arrested him for murder.
Murder? But that's impossible.
Ma'am, we figured you could help us more than anybody else. You see, the sheriff has got Paul mixed up with the same man that stole your money. If you'd go down there and tell him what you told us, then he'd know he's got the wrong man locked up.
Well, of course I'll go. I'll go right away.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll go see if I can find Adam, little Joe.
You just leave your father to me. He'll be in good hands.
We're supposed to be helping you. Looks like things sort of got themselves turned around, don't it?
Your father said we'd be helping each other. That's all I'm trying to do.
Ma'am, I sure do thank you. We all do.
If it hadn't been for me, you wouldn't be here and he wouldn't be in jail. I'm only doing what I can, but I'm sure it'll be enough.
There's no need for you to worry about this. I'll take care of it. Yes, miss?
Good afternoon, Sheriff. I think I might be of some help to you.
Lord knows I need it. What about?
I understand you have a Ben Cartwright in jail.
Well, news travels faster than the plague about him. What kind of help you figure I need?
I also understand there's some confusion about two Ben Cartwrights.
So he said.
Well, I can identify the man you're looking for if I can get a look at him.
I'm not interested in playing games, ma'am.
This is no game, Sheriff.
All right.
Well, Sheriff, it's about time somebody talked some sense into you.
Just simmer down, Cartwright. Let this young lady take a gander at you. Take all the time you want. Just make sure.
Just tell him the truth, Jennifer. That's all we need here, just the truth.
I might say the law looks unkindly on anything else. He says he's the Ben Cartwright of the Ponderosa, Nevada Territory.
Ben, I begged you not to get into any more trouble.
What?
This is the man, Sheriff.
What makes you think I'll take your word for it?
Because I'm Mrs. Ben Cartwright.
Jennifer!
Now, Frank, what is this? I was just down at the jail, and the sheriff told me they were charging Ben with murder.
Honey, you don't believe everything you hear, do you?
Oh, Frank.
Jenny, you know it's not true. Now, why worry your pretty little head about details? That's what I love the most about you. You're always worried about other people. Jenny, you and I, we're going to have everything we ever wanted.
Frank?
Why would she just stand here flat-footed and lie like that?
Didn't sound much like lying to me. Sounded like a woman who married the wrong man.
But why? Why would she want to do a thing like this to you?
There's got to be more to this.
Yeah, but what? How are we going to find out?
Oh, we're going to find out if we have to tear this whole town apart.
Now, hold on. You boys stay out of trouble, do you hear? And one Cartwright in here is already one too many.
That sounds like pretty good sense to me. And if you want some friendly advice, boys, I'd play it pretty easy. Ned Birch had a lot of friends in this town.
Pa, I promise you, we'll get to the bottom of this.
Adam, find out everything you can, but stay out of trouble.
You listen to your daddy, boys. None of you young Cartwrights are so big you can't end up right in here beside him. Keep that in mind. All right, time's up now.
You're making the biggest mistake of your life, Sheriff.
Just doing my job, boy.
He doesn't belong in there, Sheriff. I don't know why I don't listen to him. He's telling you the truth.
I have listened to him, boy. I'm as good a listener as you're going to find in this town. Have been for years.
Yeah, but you don't know the truth when somebody tells it to you.
Take it easy, Joe.
Now, listen, boy. I keep hearing about 2 Ben Cartwrights and a wife who ain't a wife. I admit we get a John Smith through here 2, maybe 3 times a month. A few Barts, a couple of Reds, a couple of Blackies. But Ben Cartwright just ain't John Smith, you know what I mean? Just ain't so easy to believe.
Yeah, but you believe that woman when she says she's my pa's wife and she isn't. I don't see you making any effort to find out about her.
Boy, don't tell me how to do my job. Oh, come on in, Ab.
You sent for me, Sheriff? If you're busy, I can come back.
No. Just busy waiting for you, Ab. Stick around, boys. This might interest you.
Unless it has something to do with our pa.
Stick around. You been reciting many words from the book lately, Ab?
Weddings? This town ain't much for getting married, Sheriff. You know that. Folks are too busy for that sort of thing.
And you'd remember if you hitched anyone lately, wouldn't you?
Well, I don't know, Sheriff. I've been a little peaked with the misery lately. My memory, it might not be what it should.
You look a little peaked to me right now.
Are you some kind of minister?
Minister? I'm the city clerk.
See what I mean, boy? Just trying to do my job. Have a look at this, Ed. It's your writing, ain't it?
Well, yes, I expect that is.
You remember the man, Ed? Remember this Ben Cartwright?
Well, maybe if I saw him.
Well, let's have a look.
Well, the man wears his best duds to his wedding. If I could see him and...
Is that the man like it says in this paper? Yes or no?
That's him.
Sheriff!
That's the man.
You better get to talking, Buster, and telling the truth, or I'm gonna squeeze you real tight.
Let him go! I've been a patient man. I've been patient, hoping you'd come up with something. But my patience is over now.
Boys, you better go.
All right, are we going to give up that easy?
Of course we ain't.
Then let's go back in there and blast them out.
No, now, wait a minute. You two find a place to light. Try the saloon. I'll meet you there later.
What are you figuring on doing, Adam?
I'm going to have a talk with that lady.
Sheriff. Sheriff. You said I'd have a chance to talk.
I figure you've had it.
Well, I didn't want to say anything when the boys were here. They're hot-tempered, but well, I have my rights.
Sure you have, like everybody else.
Well, then will you please pay a little attention to what I have to say? And that man that was just here, he's lying. The woman that was here before, she's lying. She's not my wife.
She said she was.
Sheriff! Now, hang it all, man. Why can't you send somebody to Virginia City? There are 100 people there who can identify me.
Virginia City. Take the better part of a week round trip. I've got the time, but I don't know about the town. They might have different ideas.
around here.
Why did you lie about my father?
I don't know what you mean.
My father's life is threatened now. I want the answers to some questions.
You're hurting my arm.
I'll break it. Now, what's it all about? Start talking.
Get your hands off her, Cartwright. You're pretty good at threatening a lady.
What lady?
Get his gun, Jennifer.
What are you doing?
Get out of the way.
Frank, you can't do this. I won't let you.
Get out of the way!
No, Frank.
Cartwright, you get out of here. Get out of here!
Please, Frank.
Look, Jenny, we're in this thing for money, $10,000.
But how far do we have to go? Look, Frank, I got Ben here. I got him in jail. I even got his sons to come...
All right. All right. You've done real fine.
I'm not complaining, Frank. I never have. I've always done exactly as you told me to, even when I didn't want it. But when you had that gun in your hand, it scared me. Frank, it's not like you. It's not like us.
Yeah, I guess I got excited. Maybe I was even a little scared.
All I've ever really wanted was you. Oh, Frank, please. Why can't we just take the money and get out of here?
No, we can't do that, Jenny. Not just yet.
But why can't we? That was the plan.
Jenny, are you going to be satisfied with $10,000?
Isn't that enough?
Is it? After you've seen the Ponderosa?
Frank.
We can have it all. The big house, everything that's in it. All of those thousands of acres of land. It's just that I want so much for you. There now. You're not afraid, are you?
No. No, not when you hold me like this. It's just that I don't want you to kill. I'd do anything in the world for you, but not murder. Once you murder, there's no way back. You know that, don't you?
That's right, Jenny. Once you murder, there's no way back. You gotta go all the way.
How'd you do? You see Jennifer?
Why don't you give me a gun?
What happened to yours?
That Jennifer of yours. She had a man hidden in her room waiting for me with a gun.
That's our man. Let's go get him.
Now, it's my gun he took. I'll handle it in a little.
Wait a minute, Adam. We can't do it this way. You know what Paul said about staying in the boundaries of the law.
So what good's the law gonna do us? That sheriff will believe any lies anybody will tell him.
Joe's right. Now, give me your gun.
Look, if we're gonna get any information, we're gonna get it together.
All right? Let's go.
You're them Cartwrights, ain't you?
We've never denied our name.
Well, we want you out of town.
We're not leaving here as long as our pa's in that jail.
Well, we say you are. That man your pa killed, Ned Birch, he was a good friend of ours.
Our Paul never killed him.
You say that. But we think different. Ned Birch never hurt nobody in his whole life. We don't take to him being shot in the back.
Real friendly people they got in this town.
Hold it! All right, everybody over on that side. Away from the door. Come on, move!
Move it right around, boys.
Be real good, nobody get hurt. Come on, keep moving.
Move it on around, boys. Move it on around.
Hold it. Stay right where you are, everybody. You wouldn't want me to turn loose a load of double-out buck, would you? Now, if I was you, I'd put them things away. Might turn into something pure illegal. And if there's one thing I hold to, boys, it's doing everything all neat and legal.
Yeah, like hanging an innocent man, huh?
No, not if he can prove himself innocent. Boys, you all know I don't hold with this kind of doings.
Then run him out of town, Sheriff. Well, there's going to be plenty of trouble.
Ned Birch had a lot of friends. There's talk of stringing up all these Cartwrights. We don't like the idea of them running around loose packing guns.
I reckon I can take care of that. Now, you going to do it my way or you want to try it your way? Your way, as I see it, you run them out of town. They lay out behind rocks with rifles and pick you off one by one if they've a mind to. And maybe they would have. Might be they take after their daddy. And your daddy told you to stay out of trouble. Well, you gonna let me handle this?
What do you aim to do, Mike?
Put these Cartwrights where they'll be safe. Like I say, I like everything all neat and legal. I don't want a bunch of wild killings. Your guns, boys. All right, Cartwright. I'm gonna lock you up. For your own good.
Excuse me, Sheriff. You take your choice, Sheriff. It's two of us or one of him.
If you got any liking for that brother of yours, you better start hoping he comes in of his own free will. I ain't going to be responsible for what happens to him when this town gets liquored up tonight. Not if he's outside my jail, I ain't. Get in there.
Stand by and let strangers ride through and kill off our friends? No! Are we going to forget about our pal Ned Birch?
No! Ain't none of us safe as long as the Cartwright's alive.
I don't like this, Frank. The whole town's getting stirred up.
It's not the town I'm worried about. If it hadn't been for you, that Cartwright wouldn't still be on the loose.
Frank, who turned you into a killer?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's just forget the money and get out of here.
You're not going anywhere.
This isn't like you. Who's changed you? Who's making you do this? Frank? Oh, no. No.
I didn't want it to be like this.
No.
I only wanted him to do some talking.
Well, he won't talk now, Mr. Cartwright. Whatever it was you wanted him to say, he won't talk now because you killed him. And I hope you and your father both hang.
You loved him that much, did you?
Yes, I loved him that much.
Enough to want to steal the Ponderosa? Bad enough to want to kill for it?
Kill for it. No, I didn't want killing.
Now, somebody killed that miner. And my father's going to die for it unless you put a stop to it.
All I know was I was supposed to pretend to be Mrs. Ben Cartwright, and then Frank and I were going to go away together.
And then who was going to take over?
I don't know. It's what I was trying to find out.
Tell me who it was.
But I don't know. I swear I don't.
Stop lying, will you?
But I'm not lying. Why should I with Frank gone?
You lied about being married to my father.
But Frank asked me to. And I always did what Frank asked me to.
I'm asking you now. Will you go down there and tell the sheriff that you're not Mrs. Ben Cartwright?
I don't know. Please, I just don't know.
How do we know it was Ben Cartwright that shot our pal Ned Birch? Huh? How do we know it wasn't one of them other Cartwrights that did it?
All them Cartwrights cut out of the same cloth, you ask me. There's one way to make sure, and that's hang a bunch of them.
Yeah!
Dirty sound, that. Some men hear it only once in their life.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
I'm going out there and try to stop it. That's my job. I like things clean and legal. Of course, only so much one man can do.
Well, you could at least give us a chance to protect ourselves. Give us some guns.
I wouldn't likely do that, would I, Cartwright? You might decide to shoot me in the back. You've already proved you're good at back shooting. That's what that mob out there so all fired and stirred up about.
He don't care, Pa. He don't care what happens to us.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said. I said go get him and drag him out. They deserve no more of a chance than they gave our pal Ned Birch.
Now, wait a minute, Sheriff. This girl has something to tell you.
Get in there with your brothers, Cartwright.
Sheriff, Frank's dead. And I lied about being Mrs. Cartwright. Frank told me to.
Maybe you ain't his wife, Jennifer, but only you and me knows it.
I know it, Sheriff.
That mob's coming for Cartwright's, not for me.
Oh, no. No, you can't do this. You don't want the Cartwrights. They're innocent. I'm telling you the Cartwrights are innocent. They didn't have anything to do with this. No, please, listen to me. You can't do this. I lied. This is all a part of it. It's not true at all. I'm not Mrs. Cartwright. Listen to me.
Why'd you try it?
Ponderosa's a pretty big spread. I wanted a place like that all my life. Not much chance for the sheriff's salary. I figured you Cartwright's dead. Only the widow. I would have worked real fine.
this place of ours is so beautiful. Every time I see it, it's as though I'm seeing it for the first time.
Yeah, well, you came pretty close to seeing it for the last time, Pa.
She was sort of pretty, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm. Pa, in the future, if you ever do decide to get married and send the bride home by herself, just do us one favor, will you?
What?
Don't.
The claims that have the X's on them belong to us, Mr. Harrison.
That is correct, Mr. Harrison. We've gotten control of all the silver claims in the area, but this one.
What? Well, why haven't we got that one, too?
The claim belongs to a stubborn Irishman by the name of Tim O'Brien. Holmes has been unable to get him to sell or negotiate in any manner whatsoever.
Won't negotiate? Negotiation is the backbone of our civilization. Force him to negotiate.
I think I've got the answer, Chief. Item number 1. Tim O'Brien has all his money deposited in the Virginia City branch of our bank. And to the tune of nearly $100,000.
Oh, the man's a fool.
Item number 2. About a month ago, he bought $10,000 worth of machinery from your mine equipment company. And we've seen to it that the bill has not yet been paid.
Were you also farsighted enough to require his claim as collateral for the equipment?
That is item number 3.
Close the doors of our Virginia City branch. Declare it insolvent. And demand immediate payment for the equipment. And when O'Brien can't pay, foreclose and take over his claim.
Chief, we might have just one problem.
I don't have problems. I give them.
It's Ben Cartwright. He's a good friend of Tim O'Brien's, and he might cause a stink about this.
Let him. It won't do any good. Ben Cartwright will have troubles of his own soon enough.
What do you mean, sir?
After we acquire Tim O'Brien's claim, can you guess what piece of Nevada real estate we're going after next?
Not the Ponderosa.
Precisely. The Ponderosa. I want it all. I want everything.
It's really a good-looking briefcase you got, Pa.
It ought to be. It's genuine kangaroo.
Now, we got your horses all saddled up, Paul.
Oh, thank you. Oh, boys. Now, you know what my policy is. When Adam and I are away on business, I like to leave one of you two in charge.
Yeah.
I'm leaving you in charge, Joseph.
Huh? Me?
That's right. You'll be in charge of ranch operations and make all the decisions just as I do.
Wait a minute. Now, you mean that I'm the boss? I'm the head man?
That's right. I'm giving you a blank check as far as the Ponderosa is concerned.
Well, you know, I've been thinking there's a few changes we ought to make around here.
Changes?
Oh, well, not exactly changes, sir. Improvements. I mean, like, cleaning the stable and those fence posts above the ravine. They need to be replaced. They're all full of dry rot. You know, things like that.
All right. Oh, Joseph, about those improvements, nothing too drastic, huh?
No, sir. Nothing drastic. Now, listen, you and Adam, you go, have a good time, stay as long as you want. I'll take care of everything.
sure you know what you're doing?
Yes, I want Joseph to have the responsibility. Gotta learn that running a ranch as big as the Ponderosa isn't as easy as it seems.
Yes, but you left him with a blank check. When we get back, we'll probably find the ranch has been traded off for a salted gold mine up in Alaska.
Now, stop worrying. He'll be so busy cleaning stables and repairing fences, he won't have time for anything else.
And then after you finish branding the new calves, I want you to whitewash the smokehouse.
Whitewash the smokehouse? Joe, we got hired hands do stuff like that.
I got other plans for the hired hands. Hoss, don't you remember what it was like when Pa left you to be boss?
Yeah. What else you want me to do?
If you finish with the whitewashing, I want you to build a new ramp up into the stable. And then...
Wait a minute, Joe. Just one thing I gotta find out. What do you want me to be doing when I ain't busy?
Oh, I'll think of something, Hoss. What's taking you so long? If you want to go in town with me, you're going to have to knock on it.
Town?
Mm-hmm. Come on, hurry up.
Oh, there's another brush there.
Oh, yeah. Hey. That's good thinking. Yeah, I'm gonna go down to the telegraph office for a while.
What you gonna be doing down there?
What? There's a fellow advertising. He's got a prize boat for sale in Placerville. Okay? I'm gonna send him a telegram telling him I'm gonna buy it.
It says here he wants $1,000 for that boat.
Yeah. Oh, well, Pa left me a blank check, didn't he? Told me to make all decisions. Figure buying this boat is a decision. Oh, hey, hi, little Joe. What are you doing in town? Business, Frank. You know, now that I'm running the ranch, I've got a lot of business to take care of. You're running the ranch? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well. Oh, that reminds me. I want to send a telegram to Placerville, California to a Mr. Wait. We haven't strung any telegraph wires to Placerville yet. The only way to get in touch with anyone there is, regular mail. No. Oh, better get the letter written. Hey, little Joe. Yeah. You ain't forgot how to send and receive Morse code, have you? Oh, no, I remember it. Of course, I gave up the idea of being a telegrapher. It's, kind of... to take your money out of the Harrison branch bank and put it into another bank.
Why?
No special reason, Tim. Just thought it'd be a good idea.
Take my money out of one bank and put it into another? Sure, that don't make sense at all. Have you boys been drinking? Well, if you haven't, you should be. Here, do justice to that. Well, me back is turned.
Ain't no use in talking to him, Joe. He's so drunk he can't hit the floor with his hat.
Yeah.
Sure wish Pa was here. You'd know what to do.
Yeah, well, Pa ain't here, so it's up to us to do some thinking. Let's go on over to the bank, pussyfoot around, ask some questions.
What sort of question?
Now, what kind of questions have to ask me? What kind of questions? Questions.
Here, Tim.
The idea of me taking me business away from a nice old man like Mr. Harrison.
Out of 3 branches, they picked this one to break. That proves it's crooked. If it wasn't, the whole bank would go busted, not just one branch.
God burn it, Joe. How do they get away with it?
A crook like John J. Harrison gets away with it all the time. Listen, you keep a lookout out here. I'm going to talk to Mr. Huggins.
Hey, keep a lookout for what?
Would you just keep a lookout?
Mr. Finch, that young Cartwright boy must think we're running a general store. He actually wants me to take all the money out of the safe so he can see it.
Well, Mr. Huggins, you're the manager. I'm just your assistant. But if I were you, I'd humor the boy.
You would?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Who knows? Maybe Ben Cartwright sent the boy here to check on our financial structure.
You may be right. Very well, Mr. Finch. Get everything out of the safe and bring it into the office.
Yes, sir. $60,000 in cash and our securities.
Now, let me get this straight. You said you had deposits totaling $150,000.
Yes, in that neighborhood.
Well, you only have $60,000 here.
Well, I can see you don't know much about banks. Those bonds can be cashed at any Harrison bank on demand for $100,000.
Well, then, gentlemen, I suggest you cash them before your depositors read this and want to withdraw their money.
Close the bank? But that would mean I'd have to go back.
What?
Oh, nothing. I was just...
All right, here's what we'll do. You cash the bonds, let the depositors draw out their money, then I'll deliver the telegram.
Are you trying to tell me how to run this bank?
No, but do you want to ruin a bunch of innocent depositors?
Oh, no, of course not.
All right, me and my brother will ride to Placerville to the Harrison branch. We'll cash the bonds, bring the money back here to Virginia City.
You want me to turn these bonds over to you and your brother? Do you think I'm out of my mind?
Mr. Huggins, come here. Gentlemen, I am trying to be reasonable. Joe, what are you doing? Oh, robbing a bank. Well, come on, we're in this together.
Bread and butter.
Come to supper.
Hey, everything satisfactory, fellas?
The bank's been robbed. Sheriff! Mr. Huggins and Mr. Fink.
Negotiable bonds, $100,000. What else to take?
Nothing else, only the bonds.
You're dead sure it was Little Joe and Hoss Cartwright?
Of course it was them.
Oh, I know those boys well, Sheriff. It was them. No mistake about that.
Mr. Johnson, you better get back to your window.
Yes, sir.
I just can't believe it.
Yes, it came as quite a shock to us, too.
I'd have sworn that those boys just couldn't do a thing like that. When Ben Cartwright finds out that they're bank robbers, it'll just break his heart.
And our bank, too.
You got any idea where they'd go to cash the bonds?
Yes, they might.
Yes, yeah, I heard young Cartwright say that they were heading south for the Mexican border.
Mexican border, huh? I'll send telegrams to all the law enforcement officers within a radius of 100 miles to keep a lookout for them. I'll keep you advised.
Mr. Finch, I was almost sure that Cartwright boy said he was going to Placerville.
Exactly, Mr. Huggins. Do you think they'll have any trouble cashing the bonds there?
Oh, no trouble at all. Our Placerville branch is equipped to handle the largest kind of transactions.
Precisely. We're going to let the Cartwright brothers pull our chestnuts out of the fire.
What do you mean, Finch?
You know what I mean, Huggins.
Mr. Finch, if you're suggesting what I think you're suggesting, why not?
Spoken in the true spirit of John J. Harrison. Now, we got the $60,000 cash, plus the $100,000 we are going to get from the Cartwright boys, which gives us a grand total of $160,000.
$80,000 each. $80,000 each.
Yes, a man could live handsomely on that. In Switzerland?
Switzerland? I think I would prefer the south of France. I've heard the women in France... by the way, Finch, you've met my wife, haven't you?
Yes, once. Now, I have one suggestion. We'll leave 10,000 of the money with Johnson for the teller's safe. That'll take care of the transactions for the next 3 days. The rest of the money we put in the big safe.
The big safe? Why?
That's what we tell Johnson.
Very wise. You know, Mr. Finch, in time, you too could have risen to the post of branch manager.
Thank you, Mr. Huggins.
Frank, send this message. Now, that can wait. You send this message to the peace officers of every town on this list.
Joe and Hoss. See, now, I knew it.
Knew what?
I knew something was wrong when he wasn't interested in my panel boot Victoria lamp.
In your what? Never mind. Just send the message.
Joe, you sure that's sure we're doing the right thing?
Well, Pa said I was boss and I make all the decisions, didn't he?
Yeah, but you done had us robbing a bank, and now it's destroying private property. I don't know whether Pa would consider that coming under the title of making decisions or not.
Yeah, well, what if Mr. Huggins telegraphed the Harrison Bank in Sacramento? They sent a messenger to Placerville who'd get there before us and tell them not to cash the bonds. Come on, you better knock on it.
Yeah.
Well, what's the matter?
The line just went dead. Must be a loose connection along the line somewhere. Oh, a pole might have fell.
Now, what do you mean a pole might have fell?
Yeah, last month over in Carson City, a bull tore one down.
Bull? Bull. You send the message as soon as you can, you hear?
Damn right, Joe. My feet's as cold as a couple of bushel baskets of icicles. How come we didn't stop by the house and pick up some bedrolls? Hey, Joe.
Huh?
What's the average time a man gets for bank robbery?
10, 15 years of hard labor. Yeah, you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah?
The lynch mob usually saves the government cost of a trial.
Look at that!
Was this somebody's idea of a joke?
Looks pretty official to me.
Not Joe and Hoss. They wouldn't do a thing like that. Let me see the sheriff. I don't believe it. I wouldn't believe it if there were 50 witnesses. I know my boys. They just wouldn't do a thing.
Ben, I understand how you feel, but nonetheless, it's the truth, and you just gotta face it.
It just isn't possible. My boy... How much are they supposed to have taken?
100,000. I'm just fixing to swear in a half a dozen deputies now and go after them.
Well, there's no need to do that, Roy. I'll bring the boys back. I'll see to it that everything they're supposed to have taken is returned.
Well, that's very nice of you, but the trouble is, this is not just a family affair. The boys have committed a crime. That means it's my job to go after them, not yours.
Now, I'm asking... Roy, I'm asking this as a favor, Roy. I'll bring them back. All I need is a little time to do it in.
Ben, I can't. All right. I'll give you a little time, but to protect me, now don't tell anybody.
All right, Roy, thanks. Thanks.
Hurt your hand?
What's the matter?
Joe, you know how my head always itches when somebody's following me.
You always claim that.
Well, it's itching right now.
I don't think they could have organized a posse this soon. Sure your hair just doesn't need washing?
I just washed it last month.
Put cheap dip in the water?
No.
That explains it.
So far, so good, Mr. Huggins.
Onward and upward, Mr. Finch.
Hey, Mel, didn't I see you in Virginia City? I reckon it must have been the hat or the... Good day, Mel.
Hey, Hoss, you know, I just...
Yeah, I just made the same mistake. Did you get the money?
Oh, sure I got it. That's what I went in there for, ain't it?
Yeah, but $100,000, that's a lot of money.
The bank manager knew Pa. Figured he was working on some kind of a big business deal. I didn't see any reason to tell him otherwise.
Joe, we ain't had since yesterday, and we got another cold night on the trail. How come we don't buy us a couple of blankets and some beans or something?
Yeah. Hey, well, you got any cash money on you?
Oh, no, I ain't right on me, but I was thinking that maybe...
Hoss, what you think? It ain't honest.
Yeah, but, Joe, we just be borrowing it.
Well, we're on the right trail, Pa. That horse has a break in his shoe.
That Joseph is getting lazy by the day. Told him more than a week ago to replace that shoe in his horse.
Dang, feet nearly froze last night. I ain't gonna let that happen again.
The Cartwright brothers, I presume?
Joe, we got us more troubles than a horse without a tail at fly time. How are you gonna explain all this to the sheriff?
It ain't the sheriff I'm so much worried about as it is Pa.
Dad, burn it every time I think about the brace game them two bank fellers playing on us makes me mad enough to bite myself.
Well, better get on back to town. We got a lot of tall explaining to do.
Yeah. We're gonna be just about as popular in town as a couple of wet dogs at a parlor social.
Well?
Go ahead and tell him.
You the boss.
Well, you see, Pa, what happened is...
Well, I think I'll get me some water.
That's the most unbelievable cock and bull yarn I've ever heard. You steal the bonds from the bank because it's going broke, then you cash them, and then the bankers steal the money from you.
Well, that's exactly what happened, Pa.
Sure is, boy. And then they stole our horses on top of that.
Where's that telegram you got over the wire?
Wait a second. You got the telegram?
I ain't got it. You got it, ain't you?
Well, I ain't exactly got it with me, Pa.
You ain't exactly got it with you because it wasn't exactly sent.
Oh, now listen!
No. You listen. And you listen good. I don't know what you boys did with the money, but there's one thing I do know for sure. You're going to give yourselves up to the sheriff and stand trial for bank robbery. Understand? Adam, you and I'll ride back to Virginia City and make arrangements to pay back every cent that these brothers of yours took.
Pa, where are you going to get a quick $100,000?
Sell the Ponderosa if I have to.
Hey, Paul, how are we supposed to get back into Virginia City if we ain't got no horses?
You'll walk.
Walk?
And make sure you get there. You hear?
Like you said, Pa, you really know little Joe. You'll be cleaning out the stable, repairing the fences.
Oh, come on. What's going on?
Looks like a bank run.
Keep them out of here until I get my money.
Your money? What about my money?
Finnegan, don't be selfish. Give me my money and quit.
Right away, Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller, did you remember to fill out your withdrawal slip in triplicate?
Triplicate?
What seems to be the trouble, Mr. Johnson? Bank run, Mr. Cartwright. That $100,000 your two boys stole has turned this town into a...
All right. Now, quiet down, folks, please. Quiet down now. Now, look, your deposits are perfectly safe here. I promise you that.
Who's going to make up the money your boys stole?
Well, I will.
The whole 100,000?
Every cent. Now, you can take my word for that.
Where are you going to get the money, Mr. Cartwright?
Well, I'll get it, even if I have to sell the Ponderosa.
And as you all know, the Ponderosa's worth well in excess of $100,000.
Well, I'll go along with that, Mr. Cartwright. We all know what the Ponderosa means to you. You heard it, folks. Mr. Cartwright says we won't lose a penny. That's good enough for me. Come on, I'll buy the drinks with a bucket of blood.
I'll tell you, Mr. Cartwright, if you hadn't stopped them when you did, we'd have been plumb out of money.
Where's Huggins?
Oh, Mr. Huggins, Mr. Finch are going away on a hunting trip.
A hunting trip? The bank is robbed and the two men in charge go hunting?
Well, they had vacation coming, too. Matter of fact, I got a vacation coming, too. 3 weeks and 2 days. Of course, I ain't had time recently to...
Mr. Johnson, what exactly did my boys steal?
Don't you know? I sure hate to be the one to tell you, Mr. Cartwright. It was $100,000 in bonds.
Bonds? And they didn't take any cash?
Just the bonds. There was $60,000 in cash right there that they could just as easy taken as not, but didn't touch that.
Mr. Johnson, you can tell any of your depositors who ask that I'll have the money in the bank tomorrow. You have to believe him.
Wait a minute, Ben. If what the boys told you is true...
It must be true. The fact that they didn't touch any of the bank's cash should prove that.
Certainly all in their favor. I can't say as I've heard of any bank robbers passing up ready cash.
Roy, doesn't it strike you as being pretty strange that the manager and his assistant would go on a hunting trip the morning after their bank was robbed?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't seem like the natural thing to do.
Well, it seems to tie in with little Joe's story about the bankers having robbed them.
Well, yeah.
Now, mind you, Roy, I'm not saying that I approve of what the boys did, but it was certainly a great relief for me to learn that at least their motivations were honest.
Ben, I don't want to jail little Joe and Hoss if it can possibly be avoided.
Yeah.
But I've got to remind you that bank robbing in this territory is still a crime.
If anybody's committed a crime, it's that John J. Harrison and that confounded conspiracy of his to bankrupt his own bank, and I think you know it.
Maybe I do. But who's going to convince the depositors?
Well, I'm going to personally pay back every deposit, whether the bank closes or not.
Then you could go broke doing it.
I came here with nothing, and if I have to, I can start out all over again.
We're heading in the wrong direction.
What are you talking about? This is the right way home.
No, we ain't going home. We're gonna get that money back. We're going after the crooks.
On foot? Joe, the way I feel, I couldn't catch a turtle on foot.
Yeah, well, we need some transportation. And if my eyes aren't as sore as my feet, I have 2 vacant mules I'm looking at.
Hey, Joe. Wait a minute, Joe. These dang mules don't belong to us.
Yeah, well, we got no time to argue about ownership.
No, not me. I done got enough against me already without having mule stealing left.
You know, when it came time to explain to Pa, you said I was boss, didn't you? Well, didn't you? All right, then I'm still boss, and I'm telling you, get on that thing and ride it. And hurry up.
you sure we're doing the right thing?
Well, I saw Colonel Duggan. He's willing to help.
Oh, good. How much?
$50,000. He'll meet you at the bank at 2 o'clock. It'll be a 10-year low-interest loan.
Ah, he's a good friend. Well, I've been figuring out we should be able to get about $25,000 on the timber rights.
Afternoon, Pa.
Howdy, Paul. Guess what we done, Paul? We got our horses back.
We got the money back, too, Pa.
The money from the bank?
Yeah.
This is the bank's money?
Yeah.
Well, how'd you get it?
Wasn't easy.
What happened to Huggins and Finch?
Oh, they got away.
Well, not exactly. You see, Paul, there was a little argument about that money. They didn't want to give it up. So there was a little pushing and shoving, and I reckon them two fellas sort of fell in the Truckee River, huh, Joe?
Last time we saw them, they were floating on their way to Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
This is the whole 100,000.
No, that's 150,000.
150,000?
Yeah, there's the 100,000 they took from us. And then see that other little bag there? There's a Virginia City branch. That's got $50,000 in it.
I reckon they robbed their own bank before they robbed us, Paul.
Where'd you get the mules?
Oh, them mules. Oh. Tell them, Joe.
Well, we borrowed them. Sort of.
You borrowed them?
Yo, we had to get some transportation to go get that money, Pa.
Yeah.
Now, you two boys are going to take those mules. You're going to find the owner of those mules, and you're going to pay the owner for renting them.
Yeah. We haven't got any money, Pa.
Now, Adam and I are going to ride into Virginia City. We're going to give this money back to the bank. This afternoon, you two boys are going to ride into Virginia City. To the sheriff's office.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Paul.
Adam, you take these to the bank. I'm going to see the sheriff.
You gonna press charges against Hoss and Joe?
I'm going to press some charges.
So we'd like to pay you a rental fee for the mules. Say $10.
We would have asked you before we took them, but it was sort of an emergency. Make it $15.
Yeah. Of course, that's $15 for the rental of mules, and there's $10 more for the time you lost plowing.
Mister, you tell us what's it going to take to make you happy?
Hi, Miller.
Hi, Sheriff. Mr. Cartwright, the people of Virginia City, well, thank you. We ain't going to forget what you've done.
Well, I hope they forget what Hoss and Little Joe done.
And I'll have no advice from you, Mr. Ben Cartwright. Not as much as you'd put in the eye of a needle. This money goes up to my claim, to be buried in a tin can. There's too many different kinds of bank robbers around here to suit me. What is the meaning of this? Why hasn't this bank been closed as I ordered? This is no place for an honest man. Well?
Well, it's closed all right, Mr. Harrison. We're plumb out of money.
Out of money? That's impossible.
Well, there is enough to cover 3 weeks and 2 days vacation.
Vacation? Nobody who works for me ever gets a vacation. Fish, what is this fool blathering about?
Mr. Harrison.
What's that? Who are you? Oh, Ben Cartwright.
Yes, Ben Cartwright. I can promise you, Mr. Harrison, that if you try to pull one more shady deal in Nevada territory, I'll make a special trip to Washington and use all the influence at my command to have you investigated and jailed.
And that's my department. And you heard what the man said. This bank is closed.
Adam?
Wait! You wait till I find out who's responsible for all this.
Which reminds me, Hoss and Joe should be back by now. I wonder where they are.
I just hope they return those mules. I wouldn't want that charge hanging over their heads.
Sort of a wary little man, ain't he?
He sure was. Hey, Hoss.
Huh?
I'll let you be boss for a while.
No. Little brother, I'm perfectly content just being a hired hand.